Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for November 27th, 2023. Start with the hybrid swing trading portfolio. This is Alcoa. This is on daily charts. Notice there's nothing going on in Alcoa, pure sideways. So not very interesting symbol. What we've got to do is recognize that it will do that periodically, and then look for the breakouts of those trading ranges. So we're really not even interested unless this thing can get above 27 or below. That's about 25.80. So there's about $1.20 of just pure chop. So don't trade in there. And then when that peaks, it reverses, and then you start getting these active moves after breakouts from consolidation zones. That was tradable, that was tradable, that was tradable. This is not tradable. Know your targets. On the 30-minute, there's nothing going on in there. So no trades in Alcoa today. AI. Excuse me. Let's get this. Tried the Kata 2 PSAR flip and had some initial success, but then scratched. Amazon had some initial success and kind of ground for about half an hour. Caterpillar tried the supported fall crossing short, scratch. A lot of scratching today. Cliff took the Kata 2 emerging dragon breakout, so that's this one. So this one is an example of a symbol that's in play. That's in play. And now you got the SSC, and now here's the Kata 2. And that runs up, fails. I take the dragon skin exit. I thought about the breakdown to get in line with the primary trend. Didn't take it, and then watched it run all the way down to here. So this could be an interesting play tomorrow. It would have to gain immediately from here to retain the long side potential because you still have this bit of a Kata 2 coming. But that was a rejection of that in early morning enthusiasm. So net would come out of that with about an R and an opportunity for tomorrow. CVS tried the Kata 2 continuation, initially successful, lost half an R, came through the dragon, took it short, standard risk box, get one back, so this nets to 0.5. Interesting location tomorrow. If it fails, it could come down into here, so that's feasible. It could also rebound from here because that we would see that as a Kata 2 because of the higher low. So I can put a tight breakout box around that and then call that a zero state and then be ready to take that in either direction. That's an example of a symbol that's in play. It broke out of this trading range from last week, and it's had two significant moves, and it's terminating in this critical state. So I want to trade CVS tomorrow. I don't want to trade Alcoa. Disney took the short on the collapsing dragon, the PSAR flip here, I should say, and come in with about a half an R. Just no real pain, no follow through. Dish Network Again, sideways chop. The last two trades have been in the chop, and no gains. So that one, no gains, no gains. And then it's just done nothing but tighten up into this little, into that little keyhole. Now it tried to make a breakout in the last 30 minutes, but that's just posturing. We got to see that breakout tomorrow above 375. This one has been brutalized so much that it's being neglected by traders, and it may come out of our list pretty soon. Devon Energy, we took the crossing of the Bollinger Band mean. That's the middle of the river right there. PSAR flip, supported fall crossing happening, but half an hour, it just didn't really, it held support where it should have held support. So this is another one that had a nice run up in the last 30 minutes. So I could see putting a nice tight box around that, calling that a zero state, and ready to play either direction from this breakout tomorrow. And that's really only a 25-cent risk box right there, which turns out to be 2 times the R10. Electronic Arts, Emerging Dragon for half an hour. Electronic Arts for half an hour. EEM, Emerging Markets, Collapsing Dragon breakdown, but it didn't really collapse further, so just a scratch. Ethereum, tried the short in the actual, and took a fractional loss on that one. Mexico, this one had an enormous gap up. Great big alert. Here was the gap up. That first 3 minutes, it rolled over immediately, collapsed down. It took the short at the PSAR flip. On the rebound, I took the exit at the Bollinger Band mean and the dragon skin. I saw this collapsing here, thought about it, didn't take it, and then missed that move. Just didn't have enough time in the afternoon for that to unfold. Brazil, this was a collapsing dragon. So we're short from here. Sells off hard. Spent 2 hours monkeying around. Started to recover. Took the dragon skin exit for about 1 hour. Intel. Caught a 2. Very orderly move. Took the 1, 2, 3 exit in the skin of the dragon for half an hour. I like that one for tomorrow. It's generally in an uptrend, and the Kata 2s are working. IP, this one was an amazing move in here. It was as quiet as could be, and then had a 3 sigma breakout. This triggered my alert. By the time I got filled, it hit here. Standard risk. It ran all the way up to 34.70. And then as it was selling off, I didn't want to wait for it to hit the VWAP, so we just took the exit here for 3R. And this was a nice 3-minute trade as well. We'll see that in a second. Real estate, half an hour. Coke. We closed the longer-term emerging dragon from last week for about 4R. Regional banks, scratch. Mattel, micro loss. McDonald's closed the long-term Kata 2. This was a holiday week, so I was not in a hurry to try to get extra positions on. In retrospect, left money on the table. This one ended up being 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, about 9R on the first trade. Standard 2R battle drills would have been around in here, would have paid off nice. But again, no regrets. That was a holiday week. Could have just as easily gone the other way. Merck, half an hour on the collapsing dragon. Microsoft closed Friday's caught a 2 and 1, 2, 3 entry in here for about 2R. Marijuana. We took the supported fall crossing, the caught a 2 to the downside, basically like about a 0.2. It just really didn't collapse. NVIDIA tried the SSC, and it petered out for a scratch. Clean energy, collapsing dragon, and it just kept failing. That's when I decided to hold overnight for 2R with a 2R cushion. Rivian closed the caught a 2. This gapped up and started to sell off, so just took the win. The S&P still stayed in that sideways quiet chop today. Treasuries, on the other hand, were moving out nicely. This was a gap and go. Closed here, gap to here, sold off quickly, and then broke through the Bollinger Band mean. So I get the first entry. That's a 2R battle drill, and then I don't like being long. I don't like holding that overnight. So that turns out to be 2, 3, 4. 4R in treasuries, a nice gift. Tesla, this was a 1, 2, 3 entry this morning, and it didn't really follow through, so about a quarter of an hour. Walmart, no trade. It was an intraday sniper trade, though. U.S. Steel, no trade. Sniper trades of the day. These are 3-minute charts. This was an opportunity here in Tesla. I noticed the harsh sell-off, then the 1, 2, 3 legs up to get almost to Friday's VWAP. So that's the upper limit of that channel. This is the lower limit of that channel. I see it bottom out, hold support. That's a caught a 2 entry with the PSAR flip. There's 1 unit of risk, 2 units of reward back into here. So that's the reason to take it. Time, will, pattern, and money. If it breaks north of that, it becomes interesting. It gets past the VWAP and hits the PSAR flip. Kind of a bad fill for about 2R. This is Walmart. This was one of our stocks of interest from last week. Gap up, OR3 entry, 2, 3, about 3R, and then I just watched it grind along the rest of the day. So happy on that one. Intel, the opening range 3 was very large, and then it just kind of ground around in here, and then finally it made an emerging dragon. So this was not an OR3 entry. This was that emerging dragon. And it just was grinding, so just kept one position on, and it gave a little over 1R. So happy with that one. This is Treasuries. That was the gap and go idea. It gapped up and then started to fail, so I took it short. It immediately failed, so I took a half an hour loss, stopped and reversed. It gave about an R. Took the caught a 2 short for a scratch, stopped and reversed. A little over an R, caught a 2 for half an R, so about 2.5, maybe 3R in Treasuries from the grind. This was that IP. Very long, narrow lunchtime Z3 pinch. Then a huge gap up. The 2R battle drill got filled at 3R. I exited up at the skin of the dragon and just left it alone until it chilled out for late in the afternoon, which scratched. But a total of 9 on that one. That was a gift from an alert. Pays to have alerts. Traders, Hamad grinding in Amazon. Yeah, so on this OR3, just when this comes back down and then tests the previous day's like fair value, and then you get a 1, 2, 3, you might be able to get an entry inside here with that much of a risk box. As it was, there wasn't much left in there. You got what was available. You stayed out of the chop. I like this effort. I like the re-entry. Those are both worth taking shots on, especially given the early morning surge. I'd rather see you stalking for the long side on this one, because if it was going to fail, it had plenty of time to fail, and the morning surge indicated some buying pressure. So keep that in mind as you go for that late in the afternoon. I don't know that you want to trade that late in the afternoon, but if you're trying to catch that little pop, I think the move to the upside is more likely. There's George. Boy, oh boy. Sure would like to see the OR3 short here. Then the rebound is here. And then, so I like that when it crosses the VWAP again short. And then it immediately started to reverse. You gave back a full 1R on that one. So be it. I thought good patience in here to wait for the PSAR to flip. Got ticked out here. As soon as that starts reversing, I'm like automatically back in right there. That's a 1, 2, 3. It's a new high of the day. It's north of the VWAP. It's north of the Bollinger Band mean, which is curling up. That is as nice a Kata 2 as you'll ever see. So the way to read that, now this is after lunch, so it's around 1 p.m. You got a great big downward move that got out of the Red River and crossed up right here. That's such an alert. So you've got a low and a higher low. You've got the VWAP cruising along right here. This was upward buying pressure. It dipped momentarily below the VWAP and then broke above, and with a perfect Kata 2. That is as tailor-made, and that's a written invitation on gold plate. This is This is the Cotta 2 Primo Deluxe. Beautiful collapsing dragon. 2R battle drill, does a quick cut, tries to stop and reverse, quick cut again. I really like that. This one was compelling. After this little rollover fails to fail, and it holds here, then when this breaks out, that's a really strong signal for an emerging dragon. That would be your SSC. This would be your VWAP cross. This would be your Cotta 2. And that was waiting all day for us. The VWAP cross combined with a collapsing dragon. Sort of a compound critical state. If you put that risk box right here, a little over 1R if you just get out when it hits there. That Cotta 2 was compelling, so was that one. Because you're trying to test that VWAP. When this one breaks through the VWAP, that's a little relief rally. And notice that the river reversed and was cruising up. That one is attractive. Kevin grinding on the short side here. Now you're on the correct side of the market, but what we want to, here's a PSAR flip short with lower highs and a collapsing dragon. This one to me that's worth a shot. And then when this rolls over, the collapsing dragon is here instead of here. When that fails to fail, I wouldn't be offended if you just cut it. This Cotta 2 was attractive. I like the exit. I love the re-entry. Cotta 2, if you're pushing it, there's not much time left in the day. But yeah, that's after a significant harsh winter. Not too bad. And you cut all the sweet spot in Brazil in both directions and didn't stay wrong too long in here. Got the second position on a nice read and netting 3.5 for that. That's good stuff. Your dad does a nice job on the catching the reversal, and when it breaks above the close and the continuing with the higher low, that's a great shot. Skin of the dragon is excellent. I'd have been tempted in here for the collapsing dragon after lower highs, but by noticing that the S&P is working, that's a reasonable abstention. And then this gets you with an improved entry, and really nice work in there. Good job connecting the market to the mover. Great work on NVIDIA, seeing the volatility resolve to the upside and watching the higher closes, and then that eclipsing the higher close on that third bar and taking the shot and then cutting and running. And then this was just part of that afternoon surge that was well done in tech, and I'm expecting some more joy in tech tomorrow. Daily reports. The 150-day look back, you know, this rascal was just, it's really holding on to these gains up in here. Is it vulnerable to that? Yeah, but the longer that it does not fail and it hits these are your tripwires, and you could use any or all of them as stops or stop and reverse for some intraday trading. But if those hold, if it fails to fail, then that's starting to feel pretty good. The lack of failure today was felt instructive, and you can just see how tight today's range was. I mean, yeah, how narrow the range was. Still powerful. Let's see. Yeah, NDX is still showing strength. Bullish quiet is very favorable to the long side. Volatility, abnormally risk on. Old school tech, like DIA and XLK, are indicated. Strength today with Travelers and Nucor Steel. Strength in gold and U.S. real estate. Still some very favorable quality large caps. I think that's one or three, I would say, that I'm interested in. Especially Walmart, because it did well today, and it's still 8-1. And Cisco, because it's old school tech, 9-1. Gee whiz. Lots of squeezes because of the very, very narrow range. And the S&P is at the top of the squeeze list. Today was only 1/3 of the average range. That's how tightly squeezed that was. Diamonds were half of a daily range. Qs, 2/3 of a daily range. So quite narrow compression, just ready to explode tomorrow. All the usual suspects. Yep, this is a pressure cooker getting ready to explode now that we're back from the holidays, and gonna try to make a pre-Christmas run. People are spending money like crazy, so that's why I'm thinking Walmart and the retail sector. All right, fellas, that's everything for today. We'll get it published and processed. Thanks for your kind attention. Keep working.